Obviously, a lot was made of this matchup between yourself and Diana Taurasi. I know she's one of your idols. How big is it for you to get a win here against her today?
I'm just happy we won. It was cool to play against her, and obviously a really great game. And like you said, this crowd was absolutely incredible.
You look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time. Not saying that it's not going to translate, because when you're great at what you do, you're just going to get better. But there is going to be a transition period where you're going to have to give yourself some grace as a rookie. And, you know, it might take a little bit longer for some people.
Friday marked the much-anticipated comeback of the Indiana Fever, featuring Caitlin Clark as she faced off against Diana Taurasi, Brittany Griner, and the Phoenix Mercury. There's definitely a heated rivalry brewing, since Taurasi has been openly critical of Clark's entry into the league, suggesting that reality would soon hit her hard. But what did Caitlin do? She stepped right into Phoenix, Taurasi's own territory, and delivered a swift reality check back to her. Caitlin boldly proclaimed her presence in the league, drawing a crowd of 7,000 more fans than the average attendance at Taurasi's games.
Compares Clark to Steph Curry for being relatable to fans, but claims the fact that she's a straight white woman plays a big role in the hype around her. It's not the numbers that she puts on the scoreboard. Privilege. There is a thing called white privilege. There is a thing called tall privilege. And we have to acknowledge that. And so part of it is about race.
Here's the reality. Tommy's right. It's not just race, though. It's also sexuality. Caitlin Clark is a white heterosexual woman in a black league, and they resent and are jealous of all of the attention and the shoe deal that she got.
Not to mention, Taurasi and Griner are both considered superstars. When the Olympics rolled around, Caitlin was unjustly overlooked by the selection committee. I've been calling them out for their bias lately. It's just a group of envious individuals. Coaches like Dawn Staley and Jen Rosati seemed eager to keep Caitlin off the roster, influenced by a few jealous WNBA players who have voiced negativity towards her in the past. Well, here we are now, 2 days after the Fever's victory, and it seems the Mercury are still taking shots at Caitlin Clark regarding the Olympics. Seriously, what's the deal? We just witnessed one of the most cringe-worthy performances ever from Diana Taurasi. It was utterly ridiculous to include her on this team instead of Caitlin Clark. She snagged this questionable 6th gold medal without even stepping on the court for the final match.
It's always great, you know, every year is a different journey, and I think that's the best thing about being in a team sport, that it's always different, new faces. The goal's always the same, though.
Imagine Caitlin Clark watching Diana Taurasi sitting on the sidelines every game at the Olympics after being told she didn't make the cut.
Caitlin Clark wants to be on the team, but who cares? She knows that in all likelihood she didn't deserve it. She's a rookie. Team USA and the WNBA and all of these folks shouldn't be thinking about marketing and it's about what's going to be unfair to the other ladies, blah, 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 blah. Go after Caitlin Clark. Beat her down as much as you possibly can.
Caitlin Clark, with her fierce competitive spirit, had to be laughing at this whole situation. So, this brings us to the ongoing rivalry between Caitlin Clark and 3-time WNBA champion Diana Taurasi, which doesn't seem to be cooling off anytime soon. This weekend, the Phoenix Mercury's social media team jumped into the mix when a video surfaced on their official TikTok account that seemed to poke fun at Clark. So, here's the video.
I miss the WNBA. Caitlin, where are you?
Who's Caitlin? I'm here for Taurasi.
It features a fan of Caitlin Clark. A fan recently expressed her longing for WNBA action, asking, "Caitlin, where are you?" In response, the Phoenix Mercury's social media team cleverly inserted a young fan holding a sign that read, "Who's Caitlin?" while declaring, "I'm here for Taurasi." This comes right after the Olympic snub, where Taurasi's performance was notably disappointing. Let's be honest, she essentially took a gold medal that should have belonged to Caitlin Clark. Racuna Williams also has a valid point here. She opted out of the selection due to political reasons, feeling overlooked despite averaging 22 points per game. Instead, she was passed over for Chelsea Gray, while Taurasi didn't even deserve a spot on the team. It should have been Racuna and Caitlin representing us. Some have argued that Caitlin wouldn't have done better than Taurasi, but that's just absurd. Caitlin is leading the league with an impressive 8.2 assists per game.
She doesn't get tired.
You see the way I run? I just
She does not
sprint
get
all the
tired.
time.
All the time.
Sprint. I sprint everywhere. I sprint in my apartment. I sprint. I just sprint. Love sprinting.
Taurasi, on the other hand, managed to score just 3 points over 4 games, averaging a mere 6 points, 1 rebound, and 0.6 assists, with a shooting percentage of 16%. It's outrageous that the Phoenix Mercury would choose to mock Caitlin Clark and her supporters.
Do you want to be partners?
Yes.
Okay. What song do you want to perform?
High School Musical soundtrack.
Yeah, High School Musical. That's what we're going with. Or some JB.
am I mistaken? The Fever have already defeated the Mercury twice this season. I get it now. So here's the deal. Taurasi missed one of those games because her foot was injured. Something about her toe being messed up, and she just couldn't play.
You got a max salary at $250,000. You had attendance, although it was trending in the right direction, certainly wasn't where you wanted it to be. And as Shannon pointed out just the other day, you got a team in the Indiana Fever with their struggling selves, struggling to win a damn game and be relevant.
Seriously, couldn't they have given her a walker to get her out there? She's getting up there in age. And then Brittany Griner went down with an injury during the game. But that didn't stop Kelsey Mitchell from going off, even though they still ended up losing, and the social media team was all over it. Oh, and let's not forget how the Phoenix Mercury hyped up that rookie versus the GOAT storyline before the season kicked off. When I say Caitlin Clark's fans really came for Diana Taurasi after that first loss.
Love watching her score and just everything about her. I got an Iowa t-shirt for Caitlin Clark. We couldn't find a Caitlin Clark one.
Who are you here to see tonight?
Caitlin Clark!
Whoa, you came from Canada to see...
Saskatchewan, Canada.
That's a long walk.
We drove 23 hours.
Whoa, hold on a second. 2C, I'm going to guess. Let me guess.
Caitlin Clark.
I mean, they went hard. Caitlin went off in that game, especially in the fourth quarter, and it was a real wake-up call for Taurasi. This league is something else. So much pettiness and jealousy, even from the social media teams of other franchises. And let's be real, Caitlin just landed y'all a $260 million a year media deal. That's all her doing. Meanwhile, I've seen the Mercury's viewership numbers, and they're pretty dismal. Like maybe 500,000 viewers at best. It seems the Phoenix Mercury took some serious shots at Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, and there's a chance Diana Taurasi might be facing suspension. With the Indiana Fever set to kick off the second half of the 2024 season later today, it was already shaping up to be an explosive night in Indiana as they faced off against Diana Taurasi and the Dinosaurs. Honestly, there was a bit of tension brewing before the game even started because the Phoenix Mercury had sent some major shade Caitlin Clark's way. Reports indicated that the Mercury's social media team took a jab at Clark ahead of Friday's rematch, as they geared up to begin the second half of the WNBA season against the Fever. Following that, we saw a montage of Taurasi's best moments. The caption read, "We'll take our 6-time gold medalist any day of the week, thank you." I just watched this video and it was clearly taking a jab at Caitlin Clark. It was absurd. Why throw stones when you're in a glass house? We all know that if it came down to it, Caitlin Clark is way better than Diana Taurasi right now. I'm not saying her entire career will surpass Taurasi's, but as it stands, Caitlin Clark's performance speaks for itself. It was just ridiculous that their media team would stir up drama without cause. Caitlin has never dissed Diana or the Phoenix Mercury. She consistently praises them. Yet, these WNBA teams kept taking shots at her, probably out of jealousy for the spotlight she's getting.
Caitlin Clark's hardest transition going into the WNBA league.
All right. I mean, look, the
I
game,
think defense.
Yeah, the game is just, when you talk about how physical the game is, it's just a whole different level. You're talking about the 120 best players in the world, hopefully in peak condition, and that just makes the game harder in itself.
You said 120.
How many are there? 10 times 12 is 120.
This whole situation was getting out of control, and it's baffling that anyone would support this behavior. Switching gears, Diana Taurasi found herself in a tough spot as she faces a potential suspension from the WNBA. After receiving her 5th technical foul during Friday's game against the Chicago Sky, the threat of suspension was looming for her. An altercation occurred on the court, leading to double technical fouls for Sophie Cunningham and Michelle as well. Diana Taurasi also got a technical foul during that incident. According to league rules, a player who accumulates 7 technical fouls in a season faces a 1-game suspension. Currently, Taurasi was just 2 technicals away from that threshold. To add to the Dinosaurs' troubles, they lead the WNBA in technical fouls, which was definitely not a good look. I'll be keeping an eye on Taurasi tonight, and I expect things to get heated since they clearly have issues with Caitlin.
Well, it was definitely what happened last year between Caitlin Clark and, Andrew Reese. It was, talked about and would have liked to seen that rematch in time. But Caitlin Clark is a special player. She reminds me of a Steph Curry. A lot of times she takes those ill-advised shots that me and Chuck don't like, but they go in. Not only do they go in consistently, And the way she plays the game, she's the true definition of a great player,
Yes.
one that makes the players around her better. You know, not only was she making a great shot, she was making great passes.
In other news, the WNBA trade deadline is approaching this Tuesday. Lynn Dunn has publicly stated that she's not aiming for any major trades. Kelsey Mitchell mentioned to reporters that she's considering free agency. At this point, there hasn't been any word on which teams might be interested in the All-Star, but I'll keep you updated as more information becomes available.
They resent and are jealous of all of the attention and the shoe deal that she got.
Over Times Square, take a look. This Nike billboard honors the all-time NCAA Division I scoring leader. It features the caption, "This was never a long shot."
So, Caitlin just got her first signature shoe from Kobe, and if you're a fan of it, hit that subscribe button. Let's check out what Caitlin's kicks look like and hear her thoughts.
It's pretty cool. It's got I feel like it's Fever, but it's also Iowa, so you get the best of both worlds. I have another one that you'll probably see me wear later on that is even more Fever, so just wait for that one. But yeah, you got the yellow. They look a little similar to the Bruce Lees that I wear, but like still different. I like the gold swoosh. It's the black and yellow. You can't go wrong. It's just the best color. Honestly, I didn't design these ones. I just said, yes, I love them. Please give them to me. So they do their job. They do it really well, so they're pretty cool.
His signature shoe amid his rookie season. When can we expect yours to come?
I don't make those decisions, so you have to wait and see.
They've got this awesome vibe that blends both Fever and Iowa styles, giving you the best of both worlds. When Caitlin mentions there's another design coming, I think they released this one first because Paige Bueckers is dropping her shoes on September 12th.
If and when Caitlin gets her own shoe, can we expect you to wear it?
For sure, anything for C-Squared. She better give me all the colors I want, though.
Has she given you any hints as to what it might be like? Anything?
No, not at all. But I'm sure that when it comes out, she's gonna make sure that we kind of get an experience of it. That's just the kind of person she is. So I can expect once she establishes what she wants to do and how it goes, we'll be one of the first people to see it. I hope.
Thank you.
Of course.
The yellow color is nice, and they do have a slight resemblance to the Bruce Lee shoes I wear, but fair enough. You know, they don't look as much like the Bruce Lee shoes as I initially thought. The Bruce Lee ones are definitely nicer, but I'm a fan of these too.
Yeah, obviously, Nike's been a tremendous partner and was a partner of mine through college, and deciding what I wanted to do professionally. That's just the brand that I always wore as a kid. So being able to be with them is a dream, and something I don't take lightly. And I'm not giving any teasers though. I don't do that. So wait and see. I don't know. And who knows? Maybe it'll come. Maybe it won't come. I don't know. Who knows?
I usually stick to gray shoes, but I'd make an effort to get these if they were available, especially for Fever. So keep an eye out for that.
Caitlin Clark continues to set the bar when it comes to her impact on female athletics. She's got one of the hottest selling jerseys in sports, y'all, according to Fanatics, led by the one and only Michael Rubin. Clark's Indiana Fever jersey is apparently sold out in all sizes. It was rumored that she actually outsold Dallas Cowboy jerseys, although that hasn't been entirely confirmed, of course, because that would be a feat. But in addition to the jersey sales, Clark now has an 8-year, $28 million deal with Nike that will include her own signature shoe. The deal is the richest sponsorship contract for a women's basketball player. She deserves it!
Kinsey, can you believe the hostility this girl is facing for the crime of getting people interested in the WNBA? You'd think the players in particular would be grateful.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kennedy Carter just proved that she's as trashy as her mama spelled her name. And to dramatically recreate Charles Barkley's rant, y'all petty. He said, you women out there, y'all petty, man. He said, these girls are hating on Caitlin Clark. They should be thanking her for getting them on private charters, all the money and visibility she's bringing to the WNBA, what she's accomplished. He said, give her flowers and stop being petty. And he even thanked her for bringing all of this new money and shine to the WNBA, something that you and I would never be talking about.